JD Vance tries to steer CNN's Jake Tapper toward the issues that Americans really care about during a fiery interview. Watch this.
We talk about how Americans can't afford groceries.
We're actually
Can we talk
talking
about the fact that Americans can't afford the cost of housing? Ask yourself a basic question about network integrity. You guys talked about the Russia hoax nonstop.
The FBI was investigating it.
So you took the words of unnamed FBI agents and put them on your network as if they were the gospel truth. You did it again and again because you guys seem to care more about Donald Trump's past than the future of the American people.
Fox News contributor Steve Hilton joins us now. Steve, we've been talking about the last days of this campaign, and it's like who's playing offense and who's playing defense. JD Vance is playing some offense right there.
Absolutely, and he's so right. And later on, in that, just soon after that clip ended that you just showed there, Jake Tapper actually accused him of lying. He accused JD Vance of lying about what CNN put out during the Russia hoax. And of course, within seconds, people were finding multiple examples of CNN doing exactly that. So in fact, it was Jake Tapper who was lying. It was yet another one of these fake fact checks with all their pomposity. These network hosts and anchors say, well, just to be clear, this was, no, you're wrong, you're lying. You did push the Russia hoax. And exactly as you say, JD Vance is on the offensive, as is the Trump campaign. Look at the energy, look at where they're going, look at the arguments they're making. They're making the real arguments about peace and prosperity. Let's bring the good times back. Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got Kamala Harris disgracefully this morning going, basically accusing half the country of being Nazi supporters, and then at the same time attacking Trump for fueling hate and division. She is an absolute disgrace, but it's not working for her. You see from all the leaks and the infighting now from her campaign, there is a whiff of death about the Kamala Harris campaign.
I'm sort of knee-deep in some of the local politics in California as a gauge of broader voter sentiment. Steve, Prop 36 dubbed as sort of a tough-on-crime bill. Sacramento Bee saying that it could pass by a landslide. This is after retail theft, according to the DOJ, some of the highest that we haven't seen statewide in 2 decades. Is that an indication of voter sentiment more broadly about being too soft on crime?
100%. You've got Prop 36, which hasn't had a huge amount of money spent behind it, with overwhelming margins in all the polls, over 70% in some of them. Remember what that does. It overturns the most negative consequences of Prop 47, the notorious initiative which legalized theft up to $950 a day, passed in 2014 when Kamala Harris was state attorney general. And it's not just this one. You look at Los Angeles, the biggest county in the country. District Attorney George Gascon, in many ways the poster child of the soft on crime, pro-criminal, progressive criminal justice movement, as they call it. He is staring at a major defeat there in Los Angeles. He's the Democrat, and he's going down. People are sick of all this nonsense.
And actually, I mean, it's not right on point, but I think that's why he's allowing the Menendez brothers to be resentenced, because he needs a poll bump. So anyway, but moving on, I wanted to ask you about this because we had the village administrator from Lockland, Ohio, on our show. He talked about the migrant influx and how the community was completely overwhelmed and how it's making it basically unsafe for everybody. Trump says that Harris is unleashing these migrants into our communities, these gang members as well. Is this the number one issue? I mean, I think it's the economy, but I think a lot of people are fired up about this, Steve.
Well, they're really connected, aren't they? Because, of course, when you see immigration uncontrolled, unchecked, unvetted on the scale that's been unleashed by the open border ideology of Biden and Harris, that directly affects the economy in multiple ways. Of course, as you say, raising the costs of everything, the cost of providing services, the cost of housing, all these things are connected. And so I think these twin arguments, I mean, you heard President Trump the other day saying, well, his advisors, in a typically transparent fashion, say, well, my advisors tell me it's the economy, but I really think it's the border and immigration. I actually think they're both right. These issues are very, very connected. And of course, they're the two issues where Trump has the biggest leads over Kamala Harris.
I think that's the key. People want to bifurcate these issues. They all are one piece. Immigration works with the economy, works with safety. It's all one thing. Steve Hilton, great stuff. Good to see you.